Thank you for having me here. I think, before I start, Rajesh spoke a lot about, customer experience. He spoke a lot about, lot about data. What I'm going to talk about is how IBM has been working with organizations, both private and public, in India, in setting up digital banks, and what are the key criteria, or what are the key building blocks of setting up these digital banks, right? I think, just before that, let me talk about the imperatives, right? What are the imperatives which have accelerated this digital journey, right? Both from a strategy perspective and a technology perspective. So if I can probably talk from a strategy perspective, right? We see accelerated digital adoption, for example. Last couple of years we have people working from anywhere they want. We have people adopting digital models, right? So that's a key element in fast forwarding to the digital architecture journey. If I just talk about some technology related aspects as well, embarking on cloud journeys, more secure platforms, right? I think these are a few elements where organizations are now thinking of, or organizations are now getting onto their journeys, of digital banking. As an organization, IBM, we have been working, with banks in India on setting up, digital banks. And as I move along in my session, I will talk about what are the key elements of a virtual enterprise. IBM does a lot of research. IBM's Institute of Business Value, we keep doing a lot of research. I call this era basically an era of collaboration, where, in some cases, banks may compete with their peers. In some cases, banks may collaborate with their peers. What our research basically says, 77% of bankers, right? And this research is, India-specific research. What this research basically says is that 77% of bankers believe collaboration gives them differentiation, believes collaboration gives them a competitive edge. And about 43% of these respondents also believe that, there has been a disruption in this era of collaboration. Why am I talking about this? Because this will lead to the elements of a virtual enterprise, partnering with the broader ecosystem, playing a role in everyday life of customers, will be a key element as we start building virtual enterprises. I think a big advantage which banks have today, we as consumers of banking services, we as consumers of banking products, we share our personal data with banks. In fact, banking as an industry, has the highest percentage of people who are willing to share that personal data. It's about 94% of it, right? And the people also trust banks, saying that when we are actually sharing our personal data with banks, banks will protect that personal data. In the last session, Rajesh spoke about data and customer. So why I am bringing this point again? It's how will we use data? Obviously with consent, right? How will we use data to better serve our customers? How can we have enhanced customer experience? Having all this data being available with us. This is again a huge element in building a virtual enterprise. If I move forward, why organizations, what are the imperatives for organizations to embark on business transformation? I think the imperatives are pretty clear. It is about, how can I do more business? Basically, revenue enhancement opportunities. How can I save costs, right? So basically, if I can talk about, I will cover intelligent workflows in a bit. So how can basically the user journeys be more straight through, right? So it's all about revenue enhancements. It's all about saving cost, and most important, according to me, is basically the capital efficiency. Basically, right? How do I ensure that the loans or the lending which I am doing is kind of risk free? All the risk algorithms are built in to the models per se. So these are the three imperatives which for which organizations are embarking on their digital journeys. And what they are also doing is basically changing their, from the way they are currently doing banking and the way their processes are currently designed. How are they kind of adopting a new digital architecture? If I can just yeah, if I can just cover this in some more detail, right? When we talk about this new business architecture, what is this new, what is this new business architecture? How can I move from my current, how can I move from my current architecture to the new one, right? See, the way banking systems were designed, and I've been working in the India market for the last 25 years with public and private sector banks, with a lot of NBFCs, with a lot of insurance companies, right? The way these architectures were designed about a couple of decades back, or about in 2000, up to 2010, majority of the banking processes, majority of the functionality, majority of basically what banks do was put into the core system, right? So core was playing a central role, and the front end was playing basically just a very small onboarding kind of role, right? Everything. So you can imagine, right? If for everything, if you need to hit the core systems, the turnaround times, the manageability, the experience aspects were not at all kind of considered. In this new era, right? And in the last session, Rajesh spoke about customer experience. What is happening is that I think the focus on the front end, right? For example, if I am logging into an app, vis-a-vis my mom is logging into an app, vis-a-vis my daughter is logging into an app, how can how can they have a different experience? According to me, it is all about personalization today. Today we are not comparing user experience of a banking app with another banking app. We are comparing the user experience with the best app we have in our hand phones, right? So it's all about personalization, differentiation on the outside, simplification on the inside is what I say. And we are putting this into practice. Like I said, we are working with leading banks in India, both private and public, to set this architecture, the new architecture, implemented. We are also building this app. Rajesh again spoke about, and I've picked up some points. He also spoke about everything cannot be in English. With this bank who we are working with, this app is going to be released in 12 different languages across, across our country. Yeah. So, like I said, it's all about the front end. How can you minimize the dependency on core? And most important, when any individual or when any customer is logging into your app, it's also about the overall experience, in the sense, how can the user journeys be consistent? How can the user journeys be straight through? How can the turnaround times be faster and better? So hence, the intelligent workflows, kind of play an integral role. I think what will this also give the banks? Yes, a scalable architecture, more maintainable architecture. Most important, there are some guidelines around security, adaptive authentication, which have been released. most importantly, how can end of the day we are dealing with we are dealing with public's money, right? So end of the day, how can the architecture be secure? I think that's going to be most important. How do you balance, right, authentication with customer experience? If I tell users to log in couple of times, do 4 or 5 verifications, the experience gets dented. But it's very important to have our apps being very, very secure, right? So it's all about the balance between experience and security without having no compromise on security. These are the architectures which, like I said, we are working on. It's in practice. It is hopefully going to be live pretty soon in a leading bank in our country. Okay, now let me just get to the building blocks of the virtual enterprise. What is a virtual enterprise? We spoke about a lot of things, right? Today, again, I will say, is an era of collaboration. It's an era of playing a role in everyday life of customers. So marketing, so platforms or marketplaces, how you kind of have your APIs connected with the broader world. That's a key building block of a virtual enterprise. Data, right? A lot of your decision making is on the basis of data, but how do you actually use data to have more pointed campaigns for your customers, to have more enhanced experience? It's all about personalization today. It's all about persona based banking. So data is a key element in a virtual enterprise. It's about intelligent workflows, improved turnaround times. It's about straight through processing from front to back, right? So it's about intelligent workflows. We have to do this. We are all responsible organizations, responsible citizens of this world. So when we are designing these architectures, when we are designing these systems, right, sustainability is most important. How do when we are talking of cloud solutions, how do you have, energy, or how do you have all of this designed on energy efficient, data centers? So sustainability and the overall impact it makes to the environment again plays a centrifugal role. And, and it's not all about technology, right? It's also about how people interact with people. So the people element or the human interface element kind of coming in. These are when we design banks or when we conceptualize digital banking, when we, the user experience part of it, user journey part of it, these are the elements which we think through in designing digital banks. And most important, all of this, overarching on the broader security aspect. Security is of utmost important. These are the building blocks of a virtual enterprise. I would now just want to end by, I just see about a minute to go on the stopwatch. So I would just want to end by talking about garage methodology. IBM has, pioneered the garage methodology across the world. What is this garage methodology? It's all about co-creation, right? It's not that we are trying to create something and we will maybe test it after 6 months, 9 months. No, it's all about co-creating with with your clients. And who are the people involved in co-creations? A bunch of technical folks, a bunch of functional folks, research people, people from client organizations, people from client partners. So it's all about collaboration, right? So it's all about co-creation. Define what you want to get and fail fast. If you clearly test out things in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, if it is not working, you can reinvent pretty quickly, right? So it's all about co-creation, co-execution, execute the vision to which you have agreed to, and then it is all about cooperation. Yeah. With that, I think I'm on time. With that, I would want to thank all of you. Thank you for having me here. It has been a good learning for me. Good to have interactions with you. Thank you.